Central banks stole the spotlight overnight. The Bank of Japan held rates steady in an 8-to-1 vote. The Fed stood pat, and the dollar just posted its worst single-day drop in nearly a month. Coming up, the full read on the pound, the euro, the Aussie, the Hang Seng, gold, and more, across Forex, indices, and metals. Plus, a major central bank event sits on today's calendar that every trader needs to know about. The symbol-by-symbol analysis is all ahead. Stay with us. Overnight, the Federal Reserve held rates unchanged, sending the dollar to its sharpest single-session decline in roughly 4 weeks, while the Bank of Japan voted 8-to-1 to keep its policy rate on hold, cooling earlier speculation around a hawkish shift. The pound firmed in response to the Bank of England also leaving rates unchanged, adding to a broadly softer dollar backdrop across major pairs. U.S. second quarter GDP came in at 1.5% growth, while June core inflation printed at 3.3%, and China's July manufacturing PMIs missed expectations at 49.2 versus the 50.0 forecast, signaling an unexpected contraction in factory activity. Gold edged lower in the session but remains on track for its first monthly gain in 5. The one event to watch on today's calendar is the Bank of Japan press conference and monetary policy statement. The pound-dollar trend is running strong to the upside, supported by the Bank of England's rate hold and a broad dollar retreat overnight. Price structure continues to favor higher levels, and while that momentum holds, the path of least resistance remains pointed toward further gains. The Hang Seng trend is strongly bullish, with price action building on a resilient base despite the soft China PMI print. The market structure continues to lean toward higher levels as long as that underlying momentum remains intact. Euro-dollar is trending higher, with the broad dollar softness from the Fed hold providing a supportive backdrop for the pair. The trend leans upward, and the market looks more inclined to extend toward higher levels while current structure holds. Aussie dollar carries a bullish trend, holding constructive despite the mixed signals out of China's factory data. The price structure favors higher levels, and the trend continues to lean upward as long as the current momentum persists. Dollar-yen is trending lower, with the BOJ hold and fading intervention narrative keeping pressure on the pair. The trend leans toward lower levels, and the path of least resistance continues to point downward while that bearish structure remains in place. Euro-Aussie is trending higher, with the pair benefiting from diverging dynamics between the Eurozone and commodity-linked Aussie sentiment. Structure favors continuation toward higher levels, and the trend remains pointed upward while current conditions hold. Pound CAD carries a bullish trend, with sterling's post-BOE firmness adding fuel to the upside. The market structure continues to lean toward higher levels, and the trend favors further extension while that momentum remains in play. Aussie-New Zealand dollar is trending lower, with the bearish structure keeping a lid on any recovery attempts. The path of least resistance continues to point toward lower levels, and the trend leans downward while that configuration remains in place. Gold is carrying a mildly bearish tone in the near term, having edged lower in the session despite its strong monthly performance. The trend leans slightly toward lower levels in the short run, and the market looks more inclined to test lower ground while that mild pressure holds. That wraps ForexBullion's morning brief for Friday, 31st of July. Keep a close eye on the Bank of Japan developments as the session unfolds, and hit subscribe to get this analysis every trading day. This is general market information for educational purposes only, not financial advice.